to remember to show y'all the board ahead of time. We can start to do a little bit of a preview while the players are here. Left player is teal and right player is blue. So general goals for this game are puzzler, collect 4 gold discs, collect 7 gifts, buy an item from 10 shops, and defeat a boss in 6 different games. Honestly, it's been a while since I've seen a board that collect gold discs as the goal on there. So I'm glad to see that still kicking. So it's gifts. Go ahead and give the official countdown. And the players are off. They have revealed the card. I think this is a pretty fun card. I think that middle row is looking pretty juicy if you can get it that pretty fast. I think the middle column honestly is pretty fast, even though there's the very hard for Valbrace. I know both of these players are pretty comfortable in Valbrace, and that is a pretty fast goal. If you're comfortable in Vanger, the second column is also pretty fast. Row 4, if you can collect gold discs fast enough, can be pretty fast. I haven't actually gotten to see if there's 4 quick gold discs on here, but I just see Pin Golf, Magic Garden, and Barbuda, so... Oh, and Bushido Ball, yeah. So this is a fantastic board for gold discs, honestly. I think this game's going to be pretty fast. I didn't even link in the chat that we were going live for this match, but... Alright, we see Spooty immediately hop into Pin Golf, and RPM immediately hop into Even Coat to play 3 levels really quick. Both of these goals really fast. Spooty already grabbing a gift there as well. RPM is not using, or is using a terminal code, so won't be able to grab gifts right away, but that is also -2 or better on 1 course already. Spooty's able to grab the hole-in-one here, which unfortunately got a rough bounce. It's a little tricky to use the dash or the down dunk before that bounce happens, because a lot of the times you just get too much speed there, but so I think we're still at only 1 -2, but oddly both players going for a column 1 play, which actually is pretty fast too. If you know where the Mimic is in Barbuda, the longest thing in this is Puzzler, and Puzzler has direct synergy with another square on the board already, which is pretty nice to see. I'm curious to see if this game goes to majority, because I feel like even if it does go to majority, this will still likely be a pretty fast A-tier board, because a lot of these squares seem to be pretty knowledge-based and or just like do a skill thing really well. Speaking of, that's a good -2 there. I did miss which other one of the -2s that was, but I definitely trust Spooty for that and don't have... Oh, I just realized RPM is on one side and Spooty's on the other side. That does make sense, because Spooty is in fact... Oh my god. I don't even have capture up. I'm sorry. One sec. I thought I was fixing that. We didn't miss too much. RPM grabbed the... Sorry about that, y'all. RPM grabbed the Pin Golf square while Spooty is making pretty good progress through this. Let me switch the names because I can't alphabet today. Oh my god, I gotta switch the colors and everything too. Sorry, this was a very, very last minute cast, and I think the start of this match is starting to tell that. I like this color, so we're gonna grab this color. But welcome in, everyone. We only missed the first 5 holes of pin golf and like 2 levels of paint chase, so apologies for that. I thought I had that set up and clearly did not. So that is 100% on me. I even checked before the match and thought I was fine, but apparently was not. So we do now get to see Spooty play some Rail Heist, which is pretty fun. Unfortunately, got a weird shot there. Meanwhile, we have RPM over there. Let me grab this color. I'm so sorry, we missed like the first like 2 minutes of this match to both these players. Thankfully I noticed it pretty quickly that it wasn't displaying the thing that it was supposed to display, but embarrassed that that happened at all, to be honest. Thankfully both players are giving me a sec to fix the colors here. Yeah, I'm glad that I saw it quick enough. Thankfully we only missed pretty much nothing in this match, honestly. RPM seeing the very quick pin golf double synergy on the board, and Spooty very comfortable in paint chase. Getting a little wombo comboed here with these guys. This route around goal was honestly pretty tricky. Yeah, the puzzler synergy is also pretty massive, especially for 2 players that are pretty comfortable in this. I think this board's honestly pretty fun. I know there have been some trickier boards that every tier at this point honestly is seeing. RPM grabbing the other very quick goal of I like Spooty just like building a ladder of guys to shoot. It's a very cool strat for this. And then has just enough time to shoot that guy. Stops the timer and now gives him all the time that he needs to be able to break this off. Once the timer has stopped and you don't have to worry about getting shot, clearing all the barrels out in this level is like pretty secondary, honestly. So kudos to Spooty for being able to pull that off. I know Rail Heist tech in general is sometimes a little hard to do under pressure. It has another 30 seconds to clear out everything else here. And meanwhile, RPM is in Hyper Contender to presumably gold disc it. It seems a little early for a Hyper Contender gold disc, but yes, they are. Thank you. I knew there was one other thing that I was forgetting. Okay, we should be good now. Thank you, Marconda. How's it going? I missed if we got the 10 Oppie Droppy in Magic Garden. I also missed how we ended up both going into the Lords of Disconia square on this. But we have a head-to-head in Lords of Disconia now for destroy 2+ enemy discs in one shot. I think Spooty is following a similar strat of just try to get the quick spaces while they're on the board. Thankfully, no super imminent bingo threats. Excited to see a Lords of Disconia race between 2 A-tier players that definitely know the game pretty well. This destroy 2+ enemy discs in one shot goal can sometimes be pretty tricky. I've seen players pop into this with just like a quick battle and happen to kill 2 slimes right away with a dragon fire. But it definitely seems like the more consistent way is to just get your champion out. We also have the alternate strat of just trying to spider everyone. The spider basically removes any HP that are available and insta-kills stuff the next time it hits, unless they heal first. So this is pretty helpful for this goal in particular, because you want to destroy 2 things with 1 shot. So I do think RPM with these spider strats is looking a little bit better off right now. Just because they don't have to like chip. Oh, but unfortunately Spooty's champion died, and that's going to be a little rough to get a 1-shot kill with. Setting up pretty well to potentially do it with the final knight here. But unfortunately RPM's just going to go ahead and pick it off there. So tough snipe for Spooty, because that actually would have counted too, and just barely got sniped on that one. RPM now hopping into Campanella 1 to be able to defeat the Stage B boss and immediately push the top row bingo. And Spooty is going to go into Combat Ants to beat Pinsard, which doesn't directly threaten anything, but there is also Slay a Spider on the square, or on the board. And the spider level I think is only 1 level past Pinsard, and would also count as a gift, so I don't think we're going to see the gift from RPM on Campanella, just because more likely interested in just trying to push that top row bingo now. As Guri mentioned when he popped in, Puzzler is pretty threatening on this board. Puzzler's already one of the faster general goals if you know your block walla and stuff, but having the double synergy of being able to beat 5-story levels, there's not additional synergy for camouflage, but it is a pretty fast gold disc if that's something that the players end up deciding to do, just because if you're doing 5 levels in camouflage, you're already more than halfway through the gold anyway. And then similarly for Warp Tank, unless you're trying to go all the way up to the boss. So, especially if you're able to get the block walla portion of Puzzler early, we've seen in other games when there's been this like double synergy between the generals, where, like, say for instance Spooty pops into block walla immediately after combatants and marks that off. RPM would then have the knowledge that Spooty already has 1/3 of Puzzler done, so in his situation would likely need to pivot immediately into Puzzler to be able to try to head off the rest of it, but definitely would be at a little bit of a disadvantage at that point, knowing that Spooty already has one of the 3 portions of the goal marked off, and definitely can be threatening even if you don't end up going for the other 2 portions of Puzzler, just to have that in your back pocket of like, well, I could be going forward at any point and already be ahead of you here. Meanwhile, Spooty is already in Pinsard and already doing a good job of cutting off these ants from being able to bring too many of these things back. Spooty's looking pretty much fine here. I think these are the last 2 red ants, and I don't even think you really gotta worry about them too much, but no, they're not even interested in trying to fight. I feel like he can probably kill the queen before that red ant even makes its way back, so okay, and we are back into Hyper Contender. Possibly RPM now is threatening that top row bingo enough that Spooty's going to pretty much have to go either Puzzler or Mini and Max. And that Mini and Max goal was pretty tricky. I haven't personally practiced it too much. I think Mini and Max is probably going to be the game that I focus on this week to try to nail down the goals in. But I've seen and casted a couple of matches where players have had a little bit of a hard time trying to get through that big shiny portion, because you have to go into a pretty tough cave where basically everything one-shots you. So Spooty did see the double synergy of beating Pinsard and then going into the next level to slay a spider, which I'll just go ahead and mark off that gift now. Yeah, pretty good synergy to spot that and grab the gift from Covenants, which isn't like one of the most common gifts that you'd see in Bingo, to be honest, but honestly is a pretty good one, especially when Slay the Spider is already on the board. Able to use the stun frames from all of those guys. Basically, once you have the army up and battling, the ant will stay stunned most of the time and will eventually try to weaken your army by eating them down. But if you have like even a handful of guys, you can get through pretty fast, like we just saw there. Spooty will be able to mark off that double space. But gonna go ahead and hold on to both those spaces for now and start, I was gonna say maybe just the Undust for Warp Tank. So we do get to watch Spooty play some Warp Tank, which is always pretty fun. This will obviously count towards Puzzler progress. Love the double mark. Yeah, it was a good spotting of the synergy there to grab that and just go the extra level for slaying a spider. Okay, so Hedgen is progress a little bit in Warp Tank and quitting out of the cutscene to be able to just also make some progress in Block Walla. Given that this puzzler is currently uncontested, I don't think I super need to keep track of exactly how many levels are in each. But we will do it just to be safe. Warp 1, Block 1. I wouldn't be surprised to see Spooty just stay in for all 5 levels of Warp Tank or Block Walla here, since that is the space on the board. This will also kind of do what I was talking about earlier, where now that RPM sees that Spooty has 1/3 of Puzzler progress, probably isn't going to be too likely to try to push that, especially since he's currently trying to get through Hyper Contender for a gold disc. Which does have double synergy on the board in the row 4 bingo that we pointed out early. This is a pretty solid board for gold discs, and being able to collect gold discs on this card helps RPM advance 2 bingos right now. I wouldn't be surprised if by the time Spooty's done with the Block Koala stuff that RPM isn't already pushing another bingo threat. Alright, Donkus on screen. I think that was level 3 in Block Cola. Yeah. So thankfully the first couple levels of Block Koala are pretty fast. Even if movement isn't 100% optimal or whatever, they're pretty consistent to get through. I think the only one that starts to have a little bit of, like, you definitely need another route for it is level 6. Just because those decaying tiles are a little tough to deal with if you're not comfortable with them. Yeah, that will be level 4 Block Koala. Meanwhile, we are in the mirror match head-to-head. This unfortunately doesn't count as a boss, but it will count as a gold disc, and will also count towards a gold disc that's on this card. Spooty thankfully will be blocking this row 4 bingo. So almost immediately after RPM blasts that out, we do get the back. Yes, it is. It's By the Way in TKC sound phone. Hi Karma, hi everyone, how's it going? How was your match? I was planning on doing bingo practice right now, but Spooty and RPM pinged and needed some help. So we are here for another Bingocast today, which honestly I'm pretty happy with. Dom kind of kicked my ass earlier, and it's been nice to take a step back and focus on the casting side of stuff. Did you miss it? I'm not sure, but hi Clyde, how's it going? And yeah, we normally just play some chill D&B in the background, but... Oh, thank you. No, you did not miss the game. We are still very deep into the middle of the game. Currently, the main threat is the top row bingo for RPM. Spooty has done a good job of blocking all of the other bingos, but doesn't have any like direct bingo threat at the moment, really. And assuming RPM is be able to get through this pretty quickly and just get through the 3 or the 5 games that he needs. This will actually block Spooty's last bingo unless Spooty's able to get the other diagonal. But currently outside of the... Well, is working on Zoldath, so could potentially be seeing that as his main out here currently. But as we were mentioning before, since Spooty was able to grab the Block Koala synergy with Puzzler, would be pretty surprised to see RPM pop in there and try to contest Puzzler at this point. That Mini and Max collect a big shiny square is going to end up being pretty important for both players, because that's going to be Spooty's last opportunity for a bingo, and it will at least threaten the top row bingo for RPM. So got a full line of grunts and got the conga line that he needed, so very quick and clean tactics. We've seen that square go pretty well for players today, and we are getting head-to-head A-tier Zoldath, which is pretty fun. I have not been watching Spooty's seeds, so I don't really know how much farther ahead he is here, but that was kind of unfortunately a lot of damage on that one screen. The Metamorpher Boots combo is pretty good, but it doesn't really do like a ton of damage. So definitely got to be careful. Spooty trying to spam that guy before he wakes up and accidentally turns himself into the thing he feared the most. So RPM damage boost through to hopefully be able to grab a piece, but unfortunately it was the dungeon, and gonna have to take a reset there. Interestingly, based on the way the board laid out, this diagonal, we do see the overworld piece, so all RPM actually needs is a way to break those crystals safely. And I don't think we've seen the overworld piece on Spooty's side, but RPM knowing exactly where it is and what needs to be done is a pretty big swing there. Unfortunately, not getting the extra luck of just getting like a way to kill these crystals quickly. I don't think Boomerang can kill crystals, but you can use Boomerang to potentially like throw around the crystals depending on how it works out. I think ideally would have preferred something more along the lines of the nail gun, but I think with the way this crystal formation is laid out, this might be a little too tricky of a move for this Boomerang. Might need to go from down here. Yeah, I think with the exact way these crystals laid out, that's unfortunately not going to work, so gonna need to probably find the nail gun. Carefully placed bombs could also do it. Meanwhile, Spooty does find the piece first. Just needs to play it safe, only has 2 health, and does not have the best means of weapons here. So just gotta be careful. Kill the guy, grab the map piece, keeping his last bingo opportunity in this match alive, and holding it, hopefully not for too long. Hopefully this is just an undust. Because RPM is hot on your heels for this. We still are in the position where RPM's relying on the Boomerang for this specifically. Depending on how long Spooty holds this, this is either like the greatest comeback time that he actually needs, or a hold that could potentially go not great. So luckily Spooty's being rewarded here because there's not really a great weapon to get through these crystals at all. Looking like the nail gun is probably hid somewhere, or a trade item. For those that just joined, Spooty has the planet Zoldath square and is holding it for an unknown amount of time. We do see the damage boost through. I guess potentially hoping that a weapon or something would have been back there. Spooty, I presume, is gonna try to hold this square until he has at least like a Bushido ball game. Oh no, but we see a reset in Zoldath. I mean, I guess if you're RPM, you've already gone all the way around that map and could theoretically get bailed out here. Like, say there's a nail gun nearby, maybe that overworld map piece is just right there. From Spooty's end, for those that haven't tried this goal, playing as Chiome against the AI is a little brutal. A lot of the cool stuff that Chiome can do kind of only really works against the player. Like the log being able to bounce back stuff that's unexpected, or this special that blocks shots like that. So we are going to potentially see a bomb blow up of these crystals. Gotta be really careful. Very nicely timed though. Rewarded with a piece. Rewarded with the piece. Oh no, Spooty. This hold is gonna come back. Unfortunate. Oh, that is tough if you're Spooty. Very, very nicely played, by the way. definitely RPM did everything that he needed to do to be able to snipe that square in time. I think Spooty is now seeing that his hold did not work. Unfortunate. That is the risk you run by holding squares. It's a pretty good strategy, but your opponent still is allowed to make whatever progress they want. And I think with that, Spooty officially is not able to bingo in this match, and is going to need to come back and a majority win, down 8-5. Does still have puzzler progress, and could potentially just be trying to bank that for a little bit longer. We do see a head-to-head in Barbuda where RPM is like a minute or so ahead, but there's not really a ton of ways to make up time in Barbuda, so this might unfortunately be another snipe. Has there ever been a match where both players held the same square for several minutes? I don't think so. Most of the time whenever I've casted a match, at least personally, there tends to be like one player who's kind of more aggressive about holding squares than another player. You don't typically get a ton of matchups, honestly, with like two players that hold squares a lot outside of A tier. And honestly, if I was Spooty, I understand trying to get a little bit of extra Bushido Ball progress. Because like even if he was able to just win his Chiome and then work that square off, suddenly the middle column, or the middle row bingo, with Bushido Ball win the first match and defeat a boss in 6 different games is actually looking pretty scary. As well as having the backup of that bottom to top diagonal. But at this point, Spooty is now basically just forced to grab whatever quick squares there are, and kind of just hope that RPM's not also doing that. I think it's pretty safe to say that if RPM was going to push for the top row bingo, probably would have already tried to do so, honestly. So it's pretty safe from both players, assuming that that specific bingo is probably not happening. RPM is making his way back up to the Mimic over here. Smart to... Suddenly this got very tied up. I didn't realize how close this was. So if Spooty is able to grab this, this would be a pretty big snipe in terms of time invested at this point in the game. Yeah, I'm definitely not counting either player out of it at this point by any means, because it's definitely still very early in this game, and it's not like either player has really gotten very far ahead of one another. It like just so happens that the specific squares that RPM's grabbing are threatening more bingos than the ones that Spooty's grabbing, but Spooty does still have Puzzler available pretty much whenever he wants to get it, because he's obviously already gotten the block wall portion and has one of the warp tank levels already. And looking at the rest of the board, Grimstone defeat 15 enemies is pretty fast. I assume for Spooty 25% in Danger will probably not take very long. I don't remember if Spooty actually cleared the Bushido Ball portion of the goal or not yet. Yeah, this Barbuda race is like a half a screen apart. Spooty's done a good job of playing a little more decisively here. Wow, it is within like one tile of a step. So I guess depending on how this Mimic goes, this could potentially be a pretty big snipe here. RPM does have the blood sword, which is definitely pretty helpful here. Did lose a little bit of time on that movement though. Grabbed that extra money when I don't think he needed to. Spooty is literally one tile behind. Alright, and RPM is entering the Mimic fight like a half a second ahead with a better sword. But takes a death. So does Spooty. RPM's able to grab it and does not hold. It's gonna keep going on. I presume gonna turn this into a gold disc. Spooty in the chat just says LOL. He says he's about ready to throw in the towel. I don't think there's really... It's not looking super likely for Spooty to come back, but... yeah, looking like this is a pretty clean, at least gold disc, if not a gift. I have not been keeping track of how many rooms RPM's at. Barbuda does only have one boss, yeah. A surprising amount of games do not have multiple bosses, but this will count as a boss and a gold disc. And I don't think that counted as a gift. Oh, he did get the gift. Okay. Thank you for checking. Barbuda gold disc. Oh, that's also a shop in Barbuda that I think both players bought from. And gift for Barbuda. We are seeing Spooty stick it out for the gold disc as well. I think this is a good call. If you're in Spooty's position, you more or less need to start grabbing every space that's available. Spooty unfortunately doesn't have a ton of progress towards gold discs, and we already are starting to see the Yamada cheese here. I will say that in my practice of Bushido Ball that I've actually gotten quite a lot of in the past couple of weeks, I think Yamada cheese is actually pretty difficult, and if you're watching players go for it and it looks like it's simple, it is much more than it seems to be able to lock the AI actually where you need the AI to go, and thank God Spooty was able to clutch that out. Very necessary gold disc, a very necessary boss for both players, and keeping Spooty in the game with that pickup there. And we are now going to see Spooty start to push this Grimstone goal. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that you do want a party of 4 for this because you spawn more enemies with bigger parties. I don't think I've seen that like anywhere in the like documentation for Grimstone, but just in my personal practice, like it really seems like you get like double the amount of enemies. It's a gift or a shop in Grimstone as well. We will also see the Bushido Ball gift in here if we haven't yet. Okay, so the Bushido Ball gift will be next round. So I can't edit it around early, but that's fine. And I missed exactly how many enemies this random encounter was. I counted at least 4, but I want to say there was probably like 5 or 6. RPM able to salvage the stun lock there and grab the gift. This will also count as RPM winning the first match as Yamada. I don't think that's going to super end up mattering, but Spooty getting very unlucky with these RNG spawns. You definitely want to see like 8 of those mole rats ideally for this goal, because they die fast and you can normally outspeed most of them. But Spooty getting very unlucky with some very small parties. Not much you can do when the AI and Grimstone decides to just not give you the things that you need. Okay. So that's another gold, and then we'll be able to finish off the golds with good clean Magic Garden. And if we didn't get the gift in Magic Garden earlier, we did get it there. Because I'm actually not staying in for the gold and just gift rushing right now. Mark the block wall one as well. So I am curious to see if one of these gifts is a 30% camouflage, because while it's not like one of the immediate fast ones, it could be that RPM still wants to block off puzzler progress. And if that's the case, it's not really that much farther past the puzzler progress to get 30%. Alright, so we're actually at 6 gifts, not 5. I don't know what was the last one that I was missing. So we get a dust off of Val Brace before popping back into Warp Tank. I think it makes sense for Spooty to just grab Puzzler. Puzzler's been on the board for a while, and it still is one of the more pressing bingo threats. It's been lingering in the background, but watching Spooty play Warp Tank is so fun. All these angles that like I wish I was able to see quickly. Spooty's got down pat, which is always really fun. RPM is just playing some good clean Kit Club. Should be a boss in another game as well once he's able to get through this. I'm gonna mark that off now, actually. I don't remember if RPM played through to a boss in Campanella 1. I'll leave it unmarked for now and then just confirm later, I think. It is really funny how Kit Club always ends up being the thumbnail no matter what point of the match it is. Hi Hydro Sunshine, how's it going? We are about halfway through a very fun UFO 50 bingo match in A tier. It doesn't look like we're going for hidden desserts, might just be trying to... I think he's more interested in the gift here. And meanwhile, Spooty will be finishing up Puzzler. I'm curious to see if Spooty stays in for the golds. Doesn't super matter if he does. At least in terms of, like, he can save progress for later. Presumably just trying to go for the Puzzler progress right now, though. So I am not gonna lie, I've not been keeping track of exactly how many hidden desserts RPM's actually gotten. If anyone would like to go back and confirm that he's grabbed all 10 here, because I have seen him start to grab more. But I don't know if he has grabbed every single one on this route. I was more looking to make sure I was caught up on general goals for a sec. It doesn't look like RPM, like, 100% remembers where they are or aren't. Just based on where he's kicking after the level's over. There are 2 in this stage, though, so if he misses them in this stage, we might... Yeah. So there were 2 underneath the ledges on that side of the stage, so presumably just trying to grab the hidden desserts if he was able to on the way to the gift. But definitely just looks like he's going for the gift here. And meanwhile... Okay, so we did mark off the hidden gifts, or the hidden desserts. I'll try to watch back my VOD really quick to see if I can confirm that he got all 10. If he has not, he's also marked them off here and gotten these extra ones, or at least one of the extra ones, but... Got the first 6, okay, because I know he missed the ones in 2-8. But knowing that he got the first 6 does help, thank you. I can't do stream rewind VOD because I'm not a subscriber to myself. That's tragic. So Hugh, if you're watching it back anyway, I think the ones that were in question were the desserts that were in 2-7. It's the level where there's 2 of them that I think you normally get it on. Yeah, it does kind of look like RPM is sticking in this for the gold. I didn't even get a chance to commentate on that, but... Yeah, I just tried to load up my stream on my phone, presuming that I was able to rewind stuff, but I do not get the feature to rewind stuff by watching myself. But it's funny because I'm normally out in the living room, and my wife has me up on stream over there all the time, and I can use it from her laptop, but I apparently can't use it from my phone looking at my own stream of myself. Wish I would say I was surprised, but Twitch is nothing if not inconsistent at these. And that is the gift in Valbrace. I guess unfortunately doesn't matter at this point because did just get marked off there. Yeah, RPM is extremely efficient at running like everything. Also, I think even if RPM missed the 2 desserts I thought he missed, he's gotten it by this point, and Spooty has not touched Kick Club in any way, shape, or form, so I don't think it would have been necessary to pause it there. Had Spooty gone into Kick Club at any point, I would have asked for a pause and review, but I think even if RPM missed the 2 desserts, then I'm thinking he potentially maybe missed. Oh no, got the ball stuck in the worst spot possible. Okay. Thank you for the review, Hugh. I appreciate it. That was a very nice header to be able to kill that net. That net can be pretty annoying. So I'm not gonna lie, in a board with Pin Golf, Magic Garden, Bushido Ball, Barbuda, and even Camouflage, I was not expecting Kick Club to be one of the gold discs that was done. I guess it doesn't super surprise me, but RPM leaving Magic Garden, Pin Golf, and Camouflage on the board here is pretty impressive. Spooty is trying to farm up a little bit more essence to be able to get the level up on the throne. I forget exactly how much essence the second throne is. I want to say it's 400. So hopefully it's fine after this battle. That was a pretty big battle. Yeah, it is 400. Okay. So Spooty has now met the level up at a throne twice portion of the goal and just needs to beat the Phantom Knight. I say just. The Phantom Knight is a pretty hard fight, but thankfully Spooty has met the level up at a throne twice portion of this goal already. And as a reminder, Spooty has also gotten Puzzler, I'm pretty sure, and is mostly just trying to hold it. I'm going to confirm that he has enough MP to be able to cast Fireball first. Is unfortunately going to take another random battle here. And while RPM is in 4-9, took out most of the baseballs in that opening kick and still has 4 lives left. Very, very efficient final kick there. Alright, that's going to be gold disc number 4 once these credits roll. We do see the battle against the Phantom Knight now. Able to pierce, lock, and stun. Just gonna keep piercing. Gonna run out of stamina. Pierce one more time, and there's the Phantom Knight. Alright. So Spooty does just see that 4 gold discs was marked off and is now holding both of the squares that he needs to hold. At this point in the game, Spooty does need to grab every single square that's left. I think doesn't want to try to keep track of both Puzzler and Valbrace. Knows RPM, even if RPM's going into Valbrace now, which is normally a pretty safe bet. I feel like we've casted quite a lot of matches where people have been in this scenario and just immediately went for the hardest goal left. Spooty does have advantage and has that square. Unfortunately, RPM is just trying to go through beating the first match as every character. I will say that this is actually a pretty tough goal if you haven't practiced it. Winning as pretty much everyone is pretty chill, but trying to win as Chiome, the opponent that Ayumi has right now, Chiome's gimmick is that he can like teleport around, and his special shot can visually disappear. But that doesn't super help an AI that doesn't care about that at all. And it also doesn't really change anything. So we do see the Ayumi win there. We're now going to Chiome. And we do already have the Yamada clear from when we got the Bushido Ball Gold Disc. So this will be the major hurdle here that RPM faces, is just trying to win the 4 points here. And Spooty is a very comfortable Vanger runner, and I'd say that as soon as he dies. I'm sorry, Spooty. Spooty's a very comfortable Vanger runner and definitely knows his way around the map here. Is gonna go ahead and show off the cool Vanger tech. Gonna do a flip there and then die, and then respawn up top with the camera down here. I'm pretty sure that this despawns all of the electrical stuff that's going on up here, and all of the enemies. Spooty did get Phantom Knight and is currently holding it right now. He got that Valbrace goal pretty much right after the collect 4 gold discs was marked off. So he knows that he has at least a couple of minutes worth of time to be able to get them stuck there. But was able to win his Chiome. And that should pretty much seal it up. Winning as the other 3 characters that RPM needs to win as is much less stressful. Yeah, so basically, Spooty right now is currently going through all of the screens that are up there, and basically allows you to get through this spot on the way to the heat mod a little bit quicker, at the expense of having to do everything blind, which is definitely not an easy task. Spooty does grab it, and grabs the heat mod, and is able to keep going. Unfortunately for Spooty, I think this is gonna end up getting sniped before he has a chance to even get to 25%. And RPM now back with characters he's comfortable with, switching to Raizo, and then I think is it Kataro that he has left? Yeah. I am shocked that the pace of this match was so high that buy an item from 10 games is gonna potentially be like unmarked on this board. So Spooty rightfully getting through there and marking off the Valbrace square. Had RPM been in that square, that would have been a pretty massive time loss, but unfortunately RPM's just been working on Bushido Ball this entire time. And if you're RPM, you're feeling pretty comfortable that you just need to play a little bit more Bushido Ball and mark this off. For what it's worth, Spooty did do a pretty good job of bringing this game back, because there were a couple of pretty unfortunate snipes, and then unfortunately that hold on the Planet Zoldoth square was pretty game-changing, honestly. I think had Spooty been able to grab that square, would have probably been able to push for gold discs as on its own, especially since RPM didn't actually grab all of the super quick ones. Also very nice switch activation there by Spooty. Definitely tell Spooty is extremely comfortable in the Vanger run. Spooty got Valbrace and then quit out after defeating the Phantom Knight. So he did get the square. He was just trying to hold for a couple of minutes, but that is GG. So technically RPM can still bingo, but that is majority by our rules.
Yeah.
GG.
I was so tilted. I got sniped 3 times.
Yeah, that was
on the last second. I was literally like, okay, this second attempt at Chiyomi on Bushido Ball, like, win or lose, I'm gonna mark Cleansel death after this.
Yeah.
And I click it, and it turns RPM's color.
Yeah, that was...
oh my gosh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I had it for like 3 minutes, and I was just holding it to try and sneak center row bingo, and as I'm clicking it, you get it. As I fire the shot to get 2 discs in 1 enemy shot, it lights up your color.
Oh my gosh.
What was the other one? I get the worst RNG on the Mimic fight I've ever had. I've never died to it before. It kills me, and as I'm walking back to it, it lights up your color.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
The Barbuda
It
race,
was
like, the entire
so
time, Spooty was, like, 1 tile behind you, RPM. And then RPM actually ended up dying to the Mimic also, and I thought that was going to be when Spooty was able to come back for that, but I think Spooty almost died at, like, the exact same time, so... Definitely very close.
That's wild.
Yeah, and...
Yeah, no, this was, like, at 3 points so close to being an actual match, but it all, like, those split-second moments all went in RPM's favor, and after that was, when it happened the 3rd time with Barbuda, I'm like, I kind of want to just forfeit, like,
I don't blame you, that sucks.
I understand.
That sounds really bad.
I've definitely felt that way too, so... good job to still make it a game, and honestly, even with all those snipes, it was still pretty close. It just didn't get the luck you needed at the end to kind of snipe RPM on everything that you needed to. It was still a pretty good game.
I also still do not understand how to play Chiyomi. She seems completely useless. Like, how are you meant to win as Chiyomi? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's tough.
Yeah, I think all
what is her kill option? She has no power. You can't do curve shots because she teleports instead of dashing.
Yeah, her kill option is to, like, stun with the shuriken and kind of hope. And that's not a very good kill option.
Yeah, GG. Dang, I didn't realize I sniped you on so many things, just barely.
Oh yeah, no, it was oh man.
Yeah, it was very close and back and forth, and definitely worth watching, because honestly, even if, like, one of those squares goes different, I think that match is like neck and neck.
Like, oh my god, the RNG was like super conspiring to help you. Like, the Lords of Disconia goal is not that bad, but he never took a turn with his knights, only with the ogres that I was trying to double kill, and, like, he never does that. Like, why aren't you running with the knights and just plinking around for 1 damage and collecting health and gold? That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It was, oh my god.
I think I got super lucky with my Disconia too, because I got spiders, which is really helpful, and then I got like 3 scroll power-ups. I got leadership,
you went for
HP.
a full war with that goal? Yeah,
I think so, yeah, instead of quick battle, yeah.
No,
I didn't know what the meta was, but
I always go scenario 1, like, because there's a lot of squishy knights, and you are pretty much guaranteed champions, and it's a very small arena, so you can, like, really easily, like, everything else you need to get lucky on units or map arena, but with the small arena in scenario 1, it's usually good. Emphasis on usually. Apparently not today.
Dang.
Yeah.
I just kind of winged it, and it ended up lining up for me pretty well with the getting the spiders and, like, the 3 power-ups that I got.
Yeah, I think y'all already pretty much covered everything that I wanted to discuss. There were some good double synergies on this board that you guys definitely picked up right away. And
yeah, I feel like I should have held the combatants' goals a little longer. Like, I was definitely rattled by then, and just slamming the marks down.
Yeah.
And you know, you're the combatant's record holder, right? So like I know I can't like hold tiles on that game against you for super long.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely got a bit of an edge there.
The
Although I'm
Zoldath.
kind of out of practice, so.
Yeah, the Zoldath thing was definitely RPM kind of hoping for the best and getting rewarded with that Planet Zoldath snipe on that overworld piece for sure too. And yeah.
Did you get the Zoldath super quick Spooty? Or did it take
no,
a while?
no, it was awful.
Yeah, it's same.
Yeah.
Same.
It was I found 2 overworld checks, like 2 side rooms. The first one was nothing. It was bombs, which are generally useless. There was another one that was pulse generator, and I'm looking around, pulse generator. Oh, pulse generator's behind a trade.
Dang.
Gotta farm up resources for it. Okay, there's enough enemies on the screen here for me to do that, because I have Metamorphin and Boots, and they dropped the item I need. Oop, one of them walked into a tree and is refusing to come out. I guess I gotta walk 3 tiles away and refresh the screen.
Yeah, the guy that got stuck in the tree was
dang.
very unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know. Some days, like you know, every game in UFO 50 has its share of RNG when it comes to the speedrun, and the RNG was not kind to me today, and you know, more importantly, you were able to capitalize on me having a rough time with the RNG. So, you know, GG's to you.
Yeah, I feel that. GG's. It was fun.
Yeah, definitely a fun one to commentate. This one should be up on YouTube pretty fast because I should be done pretty much right after this.
Yeah, and thanks, CEO, for casting last minute. Like,
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. That's awesome of you.
Of course, happy to help. And yeah, otherwise I think we are good. Have a good night, y'all.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, good night.
Alrighty. So I think this is a good spot for me to wrap up here. I think Canvas is still going, so we'll just go ahead and pass y'all off to the other match that's still going on right now between Cosmo Wing and Matt. Have a good night, y'all. I will most likely be back tomorrow for Monday Night Bingo unless I'm not ready for it for whatever reason. I have my Week 8 match at some point this week against Keeney. Another basically playoff contention match. I appreciate it, Guri. It's been a little bit of work, but I appreciate being able to help and just have it up and stuff. And